Welcome to Jackie's Craft Table. Hi, thanks for joining me today. I have another Valentine's Day card for you. I'm having a lot of fun making Valentine's Day cards. It just feels good to be back in the swing of things again. For today's card, I have a darling stamp set from Art Impressions called Sweet Wishes. This is a kit to make a trifold card, and it comes with some dies and some very easy to understand instructions. I'm starting off by cutting a piece of neenah Solar White 110-pound cardstock down the middle at 4 1/4. The instructions say to cut it at 4 1/2, but I wanted to be able to make 2 cards out of one sheet of paper. So my card will look a little smaller, but it works out just fine. You score it at each end at 3 5/8. And then I'm just smoothing it down with my bone. Now I can get started inking it up, and I'm going to pull out my mini Misty for that. It has this beautiful rose wreath stamp, and I'm just positioning that in the center of the first panel of the card. I close the door on my mini Misty to pick up that stamp, and now I'm going to ink it up with some Simon Says Intense Black ink. I'm going to ink this up twice to get a really good impression. So I have a quick life update for you. As I mentioned in one of my previous videos, I've been going through chemotherapy this past summer of 2016 for breast cancer. I had a double mastectomy in September, and I feel very blessed that my story has a happy ending. My cancer's gone. I just have a few more hurdles to jump through until this chapter in my life is completely over, one of which was reconstructive surgery, and I just had that surgery this past week. In preparation for that, I filmed a lot of card videos so that I'd be able to publish a card video at least once a week. However, I'm very pleased to be able to say that I'm already back at my craft table, making cards and playing with all of my paints and inks and pencils. In between taking care of my 2 little kiddos, of course. So back to my card. I used the die to cut out the center of this rose wreath, and now I am just tracing along the inside edge onto the second panel so that I'll know where to place my second stamp. The mini Misty really comes in handy here because I'm just trying to get the placement just right, so I'm going to use a piece of acetate and stamp onto that first, just so I can get a better look at where I'm stamping my image. And then once I stamp that, and I'm happy with the position of it, it just wipes off of the acetate and I can reuse that again. I'm erasing my pencil lines before I stamp the image onto my card panel. I end up stamping this image 3 times. I like to have a dark, crisp image on my cards. And now I'm going to be using the second die that comes in this kit, and it's for the little mailbox door. This die is neat because it scores it along the bottom edge of the mailbox, and the rest it cuts out. And then you have this cute little mailbox that opens and closes. I'm using more type paper here just to protect my card. It's getting time for me to buy some more cutting plates, I'm afraid. These have lasted me a year. Maybe I just need to give them a good scrubbing. Every time I use VersaFine Onyx Black ink, it seems to get all over these plates. I'm not using that ink on this card, of course, but the VersaFine ink does seem to linger. Once I pull up this micropore tape, you'll be able to see the little mailbox in action. I'm just tracing around the die cut here again onto my last panel so that I will know where to put my last stamp, the little bird and the heart and the envelopes. I'm going to use the acetate again just to position this last little stamp. After I stamp that down, I can see that the positioning isn't quite right. I want to be able to see the whole bird through the opening of the mailbox, so I'm just going to lower that just a little bit. I like how it looks this second time, so I'm just going to erase that with my finger and then re-ink the image again and remove the acetate. So how are all of you coming along with your Valentine cards? Have you started them yet? I think Valentine's Day is my favorite occasion to make cards for. Let me know down in the comments. I'd love to hear what your favorite occasion to make cards for is. I missed out on making Christmas cards this past year, but I'm planning on getting an early start on my Christmas card making for 2017 and make lots of fun cards to send out. I'm using my Faber Castell polychromos colored pencils for this card. I needed a medium that wasn't going to show through onto the other side. I'm using some odorless mineral spirits called Gamsol to blend and brighten my colored pencils. And I don't have to worry about that showing through onto the other side of the paper either. I'm not pressing down very hard with these pencils, it's just a light touch, but I do go over them several times just to put down a lot of pigment. That way, when I go over it with the Gamsol, it doesn't leave any of the white speckles of the paper showing through. Putting down a lot of layers is key for these colored pencils, even if you're not using the odorless mineral spirits. I have the 36 set of these Faber Castell polychromos pencils. There are a lot of beautiful colors in this set. However, I'm starting to feel the need of owning all of these. I just love these pencils. I never thought anything could top my wonderful Prismacolor pencils. However, I think that these pencils do. They just blend like butter, as they say. These are oil-based, whereas the Prismacolors are wax-based. The full set of these polychromos pencils consists of 120 pencils, and they are definitely going on my wish list. I have all of the colored pencils that I'm using for this project listed on my blog. It took me quite a while to color this card, so I had to edit this down to save time. I'm going to put on some music while I color in the rest of this card, and I'll see you at the end. Please like, subscribe, and share this video on your favorite social media. Thanks for joining me today. I hope you all have a wonderful week full of card crafting and coloring and fun. I'll be back again soon with another card crafting video. Bye!